Every time Hollywood revisits Tomb Raider, it stirs up a familiar mix of excitement and concern. Lara Croft is one of the most iconic characters in gaming history, yet studios have never fully nailed her in live action. And with Prime Video now pushing forward on a brand new live action series, fans are once again split between optimism and skepticism. Today, we've got a major casting update, one that adds momentum to the project while raising new questions about what direction this series is really taking. Prime Video has confirmed that Bobb-Semple has joined the cast as a series regular. You might recognize him from All-American Homecoming, One of Us is Lying, Free Reign, or Pandora. He's a rising actor with solid experience, but the studio isn't saying a word about who he's playing. That kind of secrecy usually isn't random. The biggest theory floating around is that he could be playing Zip, one of the few long-standing characters from the games who appears in multiple entries. Bobb-Semple fits the energy and vibe Zip typically brings to the franchise. But again, it's just speculation for now, and Tomb Raider fans have been burned enough times to know better than to assume anything until it's confirmed. What we do know is that being cast as a series regular means he'll be central to whatever creative direction the show is taking. And speaking of direction, the development journey for the series has been rough. It started back in 2023, then rumors hit in early 2024 that the project was canceled entirely. Months later, insiders claimed it was secretly back on track, and eventually the series received an official green light in May 2024. Now filming is set for January 19, 2026. It's not the smoothest timeline. That kind of stop and start usually happens when there are budget disagreements, rewrites, casting changes, or internal debates about tone. So while the show is officially moving forward, fans shouldn't ignore the turbulence that got us here. A cautious outlook is absolutely fair. Of course, we have to address the most debated piece of the puzzle, Sophie Turner as Lara Croft. Some fans are excited to see a younger actress take on the role and potentially carry the franchise for years. Others remain unconvinced she naturally fits the physicality, voice, or swagger that Lara has historically been known for. Turner says she's giving the role everything she's got, and she clearly respects the legacy, but respect alone doesn't guarantee the performance will connect. Game of Thrones showed she can deliver emotional weight, but Tomb Raider demands a very different set of traits: athleticism, charm, ferocity, humor, resilience, and an explorer's edge. Whether Turner can embody all that is a big question mark until we see actual footage. And the elephant in the room for some fans is that her last major action-driven project, Dark Phoenix, didn't exactly help her case. That's not entirely her fault. Fox's universe was already falling apart, but it does shape expectations. The next big concern for many fans is the creative lead, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She's talented, no question. Critics love her writing style, and she has a strong resume with shows like Fleabag and involvement in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. But Tomb Raider is not a quirky character comedy. It requires a different tone: mystery, danger, ancient mythology, physical adventure, and emotional grit. Some fans worry that her signature style of meta humor and sharp comedic dialogue might clash with what a great Tomb Raider adaptation needs. Waller-Bridge has said she's passionate about Lara and understands the responsibility of adapting her, but passion doesn't automatically mean the creative vision will land. We've seen talented writers take on beloved franchises before and still miss the tone fans wanted. Amazon's involvement is also a double-edged sword. The studio had delivered some impressive hits like The Boys and Fallout, proving they can do adaptations right, but they've also had polarizing releases like Rings of Power, reminding everyone that a massive budget doesn't guarantee a show will resonate. Vernon Sanders promised that the series would honor the legacy while offering fresh adventures, but every studio says that. What matters is whether it feels like Tomb Raider when the dust settles. Another major unknown is what version of Lara Croft this series is aiming for. Will it follow the confident, stylish legend from the classic era, the younger, more grounded survivor from the reboot trilogy, or will it mix both into a high-grid interpretation? Blending eras can work, or it can strip away the defining qualities that make a character feel authentic. If Lara doesn't feel specific and recognizable, the entire show falls apart, no matter how strong the supporting cast is. Bobb-Semple joining as a central character also suggests this won't be a completely solo Lara story.
That changes the dynamic. The classic games were built around Lara working alone, using her wit and instinct to survive impossible odds. More modern entries introduce support characters, tech teams, and mission control. If the show leans heavily into the latter, Tomb Raider could feel more like a team-based adventure series than a solitary explorer uncovering long-lost mysteries. That's not inherently bad, but it does shift the tone in the way longtime fans will definitely notice. Something else worth pointing out is the producer list on this project is huge. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Chad Hodge, Jenny Robbins, Dimitri M. Johnson, Mike Goldberg, Timothy I. Stevenson, Michael Scheel, Jonathan Van Tulliken, Legendary Television, Story Kitchen, Crystal Dynamics, Amazon MGM Studios, and that's not even the full list. A big producer roster can mean more resources, but it can also mean too many voices pulling the story in different directions. We've seen large IP projects suffer from that problem before, where the final product feels like a compromise instead of a bold, creative vision. And the strangest part of all of this is we still have zero plot details. No confirmed villain, no confirmed setting, no teaser for tone or structure, nothing. Studios usually hint at something, even a single sentence, just to set expectations. The total silence suggests the script may still be going through changes behind the scenes, which again isn't unusual for a major adaptation, but it doesn't exactly inspire confidence either. Fans want reassurance that the essence of Tomb Raider is still intact, and so far the studio hasn't offered much clarity. So where does that leave us? Honestly, somewhere in the middle. There are reasons to be excited. The potential of a high-budget live-action series, a young cast with room to grow, Amazon's willingness to invest heavily in IP, and a format that finally gives Tomb Raider space to explore deeper character development. But there are equally valid reasons for skepticism. Concerns about casting, questions about tone, a turbulent development process, an enormous producer list, and a surprising lack of concrete story details even this far into pre-production. And let's be real, Hollywood has never fully nailed Lara Croft on screen before, so it's fair for fans to be wary. The new casting of Martin Bobb-Semple does confirm that momentum is real and things are moving behind the scenes. But whether this adaptation becomes the definitive Tomb Raider we've all been waiting for, or just another attempt that falls short, is something no one can honestly predict yet. There's promise here, but promise isn't a guarantee. For now, the best approach is a grounded one. Stay hopeful, but keep expectations in check. Lara Croft is a legendary character who deserves a faithful, thrilling adaptation. And if Amazon Prime Video gets this right, it could finally be the moment fans have been waiting for. But until we see more footage, story details, tone, we're in watch and wait mode. Like and subscribe to Movie Sentry for movie updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.